world froze over people on a quiet Sunday as we were all wrestling and maybe reading a book or watching something crazy on television. WWE did announce that it has come to the release of Sin Cara, The Ascension, and Luke Harper. Now, usually when somebody does get released, there is an air of sadness in the air, simply because we don't want anybody to lose their jobs, and if you do, it makes you a right asshole. But the difference here is that when it comes to these four guys, all of them wanted out the door, and until this moment have been told, that's not happening. So things are changing, and while all of them are a story, none are as big as the future endeavoring of one Luke Harper. He has been released. Why? Here's why. It all begins earlier this year, if you don't know, when Luke Harper went to Twitter and he tweeted out that he had asked WWE for his release, and while he was happy for all the years of servitude, he wanted to move on to his next step. And we all thought, oh well, that's a good way to do it, it's a nice way of letting us know. And probably much like Ty Dillinger, who also got let out of the door, I presume that Luke Harper is going to be following him out of it. But that's not what happened. Management not only outwardly refused, but they also said, well, Luke, you actually have had some time during this current contract where you've been injured, and therefore we are going to extend this deal and we are going to keep you under WWE lock and key for even longer than you first thought. Now, where is it? There we go. If you put your business hat on, you think to yourself, well, I guess that's fair enough. Everybody knows what's in the contract before they sign it. But then if you put your personal hat on, there we go, that will do. You put your personal hat on and you start to say to yourself, especially from a moral point of view, well, that's not very nice. In fact, it's a little bit mean. Or even worse, because there were plenty of rumors that said Vince McMahon didn't even see anything in Luke Harper and didn't plan to use him. So why keep a wrestler on your books if you think they can make no difference to your own organization or to your company? The answer, of course, is very simple, and it's three letters: AEW, or for that matter, any wrestling competition that WWE is a little worried about. Ever since they've had a proper alternative in North America, WWE's strategy has simply been, well, if we have them under contract, never ever let them leave until legally we absolutely have to let them leave. This has been as clear as day when you actually look at the lack of releases over the last few years. If you're a long-term fan like myself, which is just slang for old person, you'll remember you used to get to WrestleMania time usually just after, and loads of people would get released. You'd sit there at your internet, refreshing, be like, oh my gosh, that guy's gone. Oh my gosh, that girl is gone. It was like a who is about to leave. But if the 8th of December 2019 is anything to go by, this day is back on the calendar. I don't want to call it a good day or a bad day for everything we've already talked about. If you want to leave the WWE, awesome. I'm glad you're out. But if you don't, you just lost your job. That sucks. So why now is the other question, and I actually think I've worked it out, and it's really rather simple, even though it sounds a little bit like a fairy tale. WWE needs as much goodwill as it can possibly get. And I get that sounds ridiculous, I really do, but when you do go into the social media space, or you look at the social world, WWE gets much more of a kicking than its competitors do. If they do anything that is deemed unworthy or bad, or even like a storyline sucks, the internet and Twitter and Facebook will absolutely ruin them, because there is this bad feeling, this bad blood between some fans and World Wrestling Entertainment. And yes, there are defenders who will fight for WWE until the very end, but I see it every day. It simply goes, WWE bad, everybody else good. And sometimes that's true and sometimes that's not true, but it's basically any time WWE does anything that raises eyebrows, there is a vocal minority that shouts out, oh, we don't like this, and now we're going to get really mad about it. Straight up though, WWE needs those people, and they need as many people as they can. Because right now, away from the actual in-ring product and what we're doing on television, the second most important step is ensuring people are on board with what you're doing. You never want to be painted as the bad guy, hence why in the late 90s, Vince McMahon spun this story that WWF, as it was known then, was the hard-working family-owned business, and Ted Turner's WCW was a corporate entity that was out to destroy everything. The idea there is that you look at World Championship Wrestling and go, oh, you nasty pieces of work, and you look at WWF and go, oh, you're hard fighting and you're working, you go, pal. True or not, that was the narrative coming out of HQ, and some fans believed it, some fans didn't, but it did create somewhat of an atmosphere. So when all of a sudden you hear that certain wrestlers aren't going to be released, it does make you scratch your head, because it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So you don't believe they can be a success in the professional wrestling world, and you don't believe they can help WWE, but you won't let them go elsewhere. For what reason? If you think they suck, how on earth are they going to make it anywhere else to begin with? Now look, on my own personal level, I think that Luke Harper is one of the most underused talents in the modern pro wrestling era. And what has he really done over the last 12 months? I mean, he was snuck back into the company after he had come back from injury. Then he had a short-term program with Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns and his old buddy Eric Rowan. And then he just vanished again. Like, he did get drafted. I remember he got drafted. We never saw him. We never heard about him. So all these murmurings that had been doing the rounds clearly must have had some truth to them. Vince McMahon just didn't want to use the guy. On top of that, such whispers do nothing for anybody else that wants to sign for WWE. Now, let's not pretend otherwise. Let's call a spade a spade. If you are a wrestler and all of a sudden the contract comes to your fax machine because you're living in 1992 and it has WWE on the top of it, you're allowed to be excited. You've basically just achieved your dream. But if nobody knows how they're going to be used when they get there, you may start to think twice, like Celine Dion. I mean, even John Cena. John Cena, a wrestler that looked like Vince McMahon drew and he just so happened to come to life, at one point was being considered for the chopping board too. So if you're not John Cena, and you look nothing like John Cena, and you're already worried that maybe you're not a WWE guy, you may go, should I sign for WWE? I don't want to vanish from Raw or SmackDown, and I really want to be active, and there's all these other options. WWE needs to kill that idea, and they need to be more of a welcoming family. Like, hey, come with us, we'll do our best, we'll push you. I mean, it's a two-way street, but we'll do what we can, yeah. It's a crapshoot at best, and the more confidence somebody can give you, the more likely you'll be to sign on the dotted line. Now, I don't 100% know if this is WWE's thinking, but if it is, well, it's some damn good thinking and you should have come to it sooner. It's likely why Victor, Connor and Sin Cara have also been allowed to leave. I mean, when was the last time you saw the Ascension on your television set? I mean, you probably already think they have been fired because we never get to experience them at all. And as for Sin Cara, he has been in the company, or at least that character has been in the company for 10 years, a decade. He has hit his ceiling. He is never going to get any higher than he already is. So once more, you may as well let him back out into the wild. It also means you're allowing them to seek new opportunities, but also from a WWE perspective, you can start focusing on what you do have and thinking about creating rather than destroying, and that has been a problem as well. You have such an amazing roster under the WWE roof. Why don't you go through each and every one, identify the positives, hide the weaknesses, and try and push them all to the moon? We all want new stars, we're all desperate for new stars. Maybe you've got a diamond in the rough just waiting to go. And look, if one of these people that you do say bye-bye to goes and smashes it elsewhere, maybe use that as a tipping point as well to go, oh, well, we've got Buddy Murphy here, for example, and they're doing something with Buddy Murphy at the moment. But we've got Buddy Murphy here, for example, maybe we should try just a little bit harder, because look, Luke Harper went out there and hypothetically went to AEW, and now he's doing really, really well. Maybe we should try and capitalize on that while we actually have them in Stamford, Connecticut. You know, that is your job. Your job is to nurture wrestlers and make them better, and then turn them into popular pieces of your television. Just saying. So WWE absolutely needs to start looking forward and betting on what they have as opposed to what they don't have, even though I understand they have Luke Harper, but again, they ain't gonna do nothing with him. Let AEW or New Japan or whoever worry about that and stop trying to block wrestlers from making a living. It really is just a horrible situation all around. If the decree throughout the place has been that person is shelved, and then you don't let them leave. It's just not right. And I don't want to get all hippy-trippy, but to live your dream and get to this point, only to then be told you're not allowed to wrestle anymore, well, I tell you, it will do a number on your brain. You probably won't think it will, because like, oh, you're making all the money, you're doing this, you're doing that. Money isn't everything, and like the chemical makeup of the human body and its DNA is proper crazy. You can't get that thing that you want, and you're even closer than ever, it will smack you right in the nose. We, of course, now have to wait and see what Brody Lee, Luke Harper's indie name, is going to do. But just to throw some fuel onto that fire, he did indeed register that as a trademark, Brody Lee, in November 2019. So one, he knew this was going to happen and he was getting ready for it, or two, he was waiting for April 2020 when his original contract was due to end. I just hope this is the start of a new protocol for WWE. And don't get me wrong, if you are being used on Raw and SmackDown and you are a big part of those shows, that changes the situation entirely. I ain't moaning about that. But if you're not and you're just gonna shut someone away, this is a much better path to take. You can't stop people flying, man. You're just gonna clip their wings, which means when they do get them back, they will soar even higher still. What a load of shit. Now, don't forget to leave a comment below and let us know what you think about Luke Harper, Connor, Victor, Sin Cara, are they going to make it elsewhere? Where are they going to go? Which organizations would you like to see them in? And who else could get released from WWE in this crazy week? Like, share, and subscribe. Head over to WhatCulture.com and read yourself some articles. They will keep you up to date with new bits like this. Follow WhatCulture on Twitter at WhatCulture WWE. They will also keep you up to date. And you can watch more videos here on WhatCulture Wrestling. And guess what? We'll keep you up to date too. My name is Simon from WhatCulture. Thank you very much for watching me, and I have one simple plea to all Elite Wrestling. I mean, you do whatever you want to do. You're doing pretty well. I think you've got this down. But hire Luke Harper, hire Brody Lee, whatever you want to call him, and give him the push he deserves. He is so good, and until the Wyatt family, or since then, nobody has given him a chance, which is absolutely nuts. Do you remember when he was feuding with Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt? Everyone was like, maybe he should be put into that WrestleMania triple threat, which he should have been, because in that WrestleMania match we got what? Bugs on overhead projector and semen as Randy Orton was walking to the ring. He would have made that so much better. Now, as he approaches his 40th birthday, I'm asking you, All Elite Wrestling, AEW, Cody Rhodes, Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson, the Young Bucks, whoever's there, whoever's listening, give Luke Harper, Brody Lee, a chance.